Chapter 10 continued. It is said that Moreshwar Kshetra is definitely very holy and most excellent. But kshetras like Kashi, Prayag, etc., which are considered worshipful for the 7 types of liberation, are holier than Moreshwari. In all other kshetras, the sins are immutable, but the sins of those who come to Ganesh Kshetra are destroyed. This is ordained even in the Shastras. As per the Shastras, the moment one enters Moreshwar Kshetra, the sins done at other Ganesh Kshetras are also destroyed. Moreshwar Kshetra is the only Kshetra on earth that is verily the form of Brahma and an embodiment of knowledge. A tamasic person disregards the statement of the Shastras and does not have any regard to knowledge, place, time, deservingness, and considers them all to be useless. He considers it all a delusion. If he makes this argument for breaking the path ordained by the Shastras and does nothing, nor has any intention to do anything, then such a person is greedy for money. He does not make any donation, nor does he do something peculiar in the name of donation. This is tamasic dan. He does not donate to Brahmins who truly deserve, but gives very grudgingly to non-deserving people. He does as he pleases. All this is indicative of tamasic dan. Jnanam cha trividam rajan shunishva sthira chetasa trida karma cha kartaram bravimite prasangata. Shrigajanan Prabhu then speaks about the recognition of the 3 types of knowledge, 3 types of deeds, and the 3 types of doers. Nana videshu bhuteshu mamekam vikshate tuyam nashavatsu cha nityam mam tajnanam sattvikam nripa. 3 kinds of knowledge. Shrigajanan Prabhu tells King Varenya, the world of animate and inanimate consists of innumerable names and forms, each of which give rise to varying experience while appearing real. But everywhere, I, the Lord of Buddhi, Chintamani, always and forever devoid of any changes, exists as knowingness in them. There are no differences in me because differences are limited by time. Everything being subject to destruction is impermanent. Therefore, a Jnani Purush considers only me, Chintamani, to be the truth and eternal. Apart from the thought of Ganesha, he doesn't have taste for anything else. He is not enchanted by different kinds of things. So, among all creation, only Ganesha is eternal. He knows that. So his knowledge is sattvic. Teshu veti prithak bhutam vividham bhavamashrita mamavyayam cha tajnanam rajasam parikirtitam. Now, what is the indication of rajasic knowledge? Even though one knows that Ganesha is the Atman in all, the different things in existence appear in the form that it takes. This induces one to accept them as they appear and consequently commit sins or good deeds. The fruits of each are different and mere knowledge about them is not enough. The taste for objects determines his approach towards them. This knowledge makes him feel favorably towards those he has taste for and therefore considers them appropriate, makes it rajasic. He considers knowledge about me illusory and thus neglects me even though he knows I am imperishable and eternal. Such rajasic knowledge creates the bondage of birth and death. That is the fruit of rajasic knowledge. Hetuhinam asatyam cha dehatma vishayam cha yat asad artam alpa vishayam tamasam jnanamuchyate. Now I shall tell you about tamasic knowledge. When one does auspicious and inauspicious deeds, but has no knowledge whether it's good or bad, nor does he have any fear of the consequences thereof, nor does he have a mental bend, for them that knowledge is meaningless. A sadhak could have anxiety for a particular spiritual practice and might have got a particular result, so he may come to a different conclusion in his mind, and based on that he may decide to do something else totally. Such knowledge is also false. Again, the Atman is different from the body. One who does not have this knowledge thinks that this body itself is Brahma. When this knowledge sets firmly within him, then the Jivatma within the body, Chintamani, who gives all the joys and sorrows, has necessarily to be experienced. This is his conviction because if the body subsists due to the power of Chintamani, without whose consent nothing happens to the body, then to please him it is necessary to take care of the nourishment of the body. If this is the kind of knowledge that is present in the individual, then his knowledge on the subject of body and soul is tamasic. His mental makeup is that his body has to be pleased so that the Atman within, who is the Lord of the intellect, remains pleased. So he does not mind how he pleases himself, even it means having sexual relation with someone else's wife or getting intoxicated with drinks. He does not care whether it is inappropriate or against the Shastras. He feels that following all that is ordained by dharmas means causing pain to the body from all sides. But he does not know that causing pain to the body only makes the Atma Chintamani residing in the mental vital consciousness substance definitely sad. Therefore, it is better to not follow that path. Thinking this way and believing the body to be the Atman is tamasic knowledge. This kind of false knowledge only makes him detract from the path of truth. He prefers to have momentary pleasures which further satisfy his selfishness. He doesn't care even if it causes pain to another individual. It never occurs to him that it may even cause his death. The cause of these sinful deeds is his tamasic knowledge. The fruits of his sins are as painful as hell itself. Even after knowing this, he doesn't realize and correct himself. In the end, he has to face distressing fruits. Bhedatas trividham karma viddhirajanmayeritam kamanadvesha dambhairya drahitam nitya karmayat. 3 types of karmas. Shrigajanan Prabhu then speaks about the 3 types of karmas. He says, King Varenya, 3 types of karmas take place depending on the extent to which the 3 gunas manifest in the mental vital consciousness substance. Based on them, the karmas can be classified as sattvic, rajasic or tamasic. First, listen to the sattvic karma. The karma which a sadhak does only to please me is desireless. He does not think of the fruits of his actions. If anyone causes him pain or harm, causes him harm in any way, he does not get angry, nor does he do any revengeful actions. He does not even do any karma, so that more faith is created in the people. Doing good karmas to make people consider them as worshipful is a fake activity. He avoids such exhibitionism. All these are sattvic karmas. In short, following one's swadharma, doing the daily karmas like sandhya etc. is sattvic karma. Not following one's swadharma is like committing a sin. Therefore, these are called nitya karma. The secret is that by doing one's swadharma, one does not get any special merits because these have to be performed to destroy the sins that are committed daily by us. However, by doing a swadharma karma, one gets permanent happiness. We become worshipful and get connected to people who follow their swadharma. Such satkarmas done for attaining me alone are called sattvic karmas. Doing sattvic karmas takes one onto the path of liberation. Kritam vina phale chayat karma sattvikamujjate yad bahu kleshatah karma kritam yachat phale chayam. He then goes on to explain rajasic karmas. Shrigajanan Prabhu says, listen to this attentively. When an individual begins to do certain karmas without having the necessary skills for them, he completes them somehow or the other, with great difficulty. Such karmas that cause great distress are rajasic karmas. Karmas done with some kind of desire are also rajasic karmas. Again, when a person's karmas do not reflect what he is actually feeling within, but he does them merely to deceive others, are fake karmas and therefore rajasic in nature. The next verse gives a description of tamasic karma. Kriyamanam rubirdhambhat karma rajasamuchyate anapekshva sashaktim yad artakshayakaram sayate. Actions undertaken without having the necessary capacity for performing them, or having no intention of completing them, or leaving them incomplete in the middle, are considered sinful. They are tamasic karmas. Some karmas are contrary to what is needed to be done to get a particular result. Such karmas are also tamasic. If one begins some activity, he should be clear as to why he is doing it in the first place. Doing karma without understanding is tamasic karma. Ajnanat kriyamanam yat karma tamasamiritam kartaram trividham vidhi katyamanam maya nrapa dhairyotsahi samo siddho siddho cha vikriyastu yaha ahamkara vimuktoya sakarta sattvico nrapa. Three types of doers. After this, he speaks about the three types of doers. Shrigajanan Prabhu says, what is the nature of the three types of doers? Sattvic, rajasic and tamasic? Listen. First, listen to the nature of a sattvic doer. A Purusha doing these actions has to understand the path of yoga and do them according to the Shastras. He may have to face a lot of difficulties. He bears them with discrimination and does them without being desperate. A person whose courageous and enthusiastic is a sattvic doer. He is convinced that he is following the path of right action as instructed by the sadhus. Its fruits bestow happiness, but he is not unduly joyous. Besides, it is not necessary that one should get all the fruits of good actions in this life itself. Perhaps they may be experienced in another lifetime. When he does not get the anticipated results, it causes sorrow to the doer. So, one who remains equanimous whether one gets success or not, where the doer is not perturbed, is a sattvic doer. He is not entirely dependent on external circumstances, as he is of the firm belief and conviction that Lord of Buddhi, Ganesha, the bearer of all powers, causes things to happen as they do. Since I get the fruits of my actions through him, then why should I worry, as everything happens only according to his wishes? I need not be concerned whether something is regular or irregular. A person who does actions with such discrimination is a sattvic doer. He does things because they have to be done according to the Shastras. He has no pride in doing them and does with the knowing that it is Shrigajanan Prabhu who gets things done. How he gets them done is the way why they are supposed to happen. Doing our karma as per our buddhi's capacity is sufficient. One with such a humble attitude is a sattvic doer. Kurvan harsha cha shokam cha himsam phalasprisham cha ya ashuchir lubdako yastu rajaso saunigadyate. In the next verse, he describes the nature of a rajasic doer. He is happy when he gets the expected results for his actions, but is steeped in sorrow if the results are not as anticipated. He stacks and blames others, causing them pain. All his efforts are on the fruits of his action. He doesn't care if he speaks well or not. Since his sole aim is to keep the body happy, he doesn't care whether his deeds are according to his swadharma or not. He is greedy in every action. These kinds of qualities are of a rajasic doer. Pramadajnana sahitaha parochotparashataha alasata starkavanyastu kartaso tamaso mataha. In the 20th verse, he explains the nature of a tamasic doer. Shrigajanan Prabhu says, haughtiness, meaning drinking alcohol and getting intoxicated, or doing things with absolute indiscrimination, or doing whatever occurs to the mind, are actions of a tamasic doer. He does not think about sinful acts, nor does he consider the end result of his misdeeds. Such a person is a rogue. He is lazy. Whenever some work comes up, he procrastinates all the time or pushes it on someone else. He just idles away his time, wishing someone else to come and do the job. Sukham cha trividam rajan, dukkham cha kramata shrunu, sattvikam rajasam chaiva, tamasam cha mayochate. 3 kinds of happiness and sorrow. Shrigajanan Prabhu says, now listen to the 3 kinds of happiness and sorrow. First, listen to the sattvic happiness. While doing good deeds, one may be required to undergo difficulties in the beginning. For example, going to the water tank early in the morning and having a bath with cold water, although very auspicious by itself, it's very distressing. Getting up early in the morning with cold winds blowing and going to the river for a bath can really be a pain, but the result of that is always joy. Understanding this is sattvic, even the initial sorrow is sattvic. Bearing the sorrow that comes in the path of performing our swadharma, in the end turns out to be nectarian. Not only that, since all our sins and bondage of birth and death are destroyed forever, it brings eternal happiness in the end. Sattvic happiness makes us want it again and again. Besides, the countenance of such a Purusha is always joyous. Therefore, besides resoluteness in one's dharma, he does not seek momentary pleasures. Such a sadhak thinks, since my intellect is guiding me towards liberation, are my actions in sync with it? All these indications are of sattvic happiness. Vishavad bhasate purvam dukkhasyantakaram chayate ichchayamanam tatha vrityam yadante mritavad bhavet. Now listen to rajasic happiness. If one practices his swadharma properly, then wherever he may be at that time, his body has to bear the inconvenience. If he avoids facing the situation on seeing the slightest difficulty and is satisfied with the temporary joys that he gets, he has rajasic happiness. There is nothing wrong in his seeking instant gratification. For doing this, his swadharma somehow and at the appropriate time, but from the beginning he does only that which gives him physical pleasures. An individual who gives priority to bodily pleasures is rajasic happiness. It is true that the enjoyment of sensual pleasures feels sweet like nectar, but in the end it results in the bondage of the cycle of birth and death. Therefore, sensual pleasures are virulent poison. There is nothing like happiness in reality. That which demonstrates this quality is rajasic happiness. We shall look into tamasic happiness in the next audio.